Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to give you a rundown of my hangar. I want to show you some of my choices, some of my weapons, my implants, and just give you an idea of what sort of situations I use which mechs in. So my lineup right now is Tengu, Surge, Eclipse, Onyx, and Zephyr. Okay? And let's start with Surge. So Surge is my main, obviously, and I send him out first. And he used to be the glass cannon. Now he's just a thick boy cannon. Your job as Surge is to, if it's a 3-point stage, you get the center point as fast as possible. You tank everything that comes on, and you destroy everything that comes on. And after you tank the second point, you use your life to just take out as much as you can, because it's your first life and it doesn't matter. That's the point of Surge. If you can take the third point, that's fine. If it's a 5-point stage, what you want to do is you want to take a side point, usually whichever side you spawn closer to. Dash to that side, take the side point, and then go to capture center and back up whoever's there, or if no one's there, try to capture it yourself and fend off what's ever there. When you rank up your Surge as much as I have, you can see he has 20 energy, but I don't have anything better than Arc Turret 12 and Arc Turret 6. That's a nasty combo, and they're both, leveled and ranked pretty high, so that kind of works for me at that 18. I have Arc Turret 10, but you can't have 2. I don't know if maybe you rank it up further. Maybe the equip limit will increase, and I can put both of them on there to get the full 20, and that would be sick nasty. But right now, the equip limit on Arc Turret 10, at least for me, at this level, is 1. So I'm going to put it on my Tengu when I get him ranked up, but that's another story. So, close quarters, epic pilot, increases the fucking close quarters damage by 30% and the mech HP by 40%. Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So this is why you want to get an epic pilot, and you want to invest in ranking it up, because it can turn it can turn any mech into something viable, but if you turn a good mech into something crazy, that's what you're going for. So I have the gold Surge dash radius, and what that is, that's not the dash distance or anything like that. If you think about it, it's really just the very end of the dash, how far the explosion is, the EMP explosion, which does no damage, but it does the electric shock, which shuts everything down. Expanding that radius means you can get, well, obviously you don't have to be as careful or as accurate, but you can allow yourself to purposely dash further away from center, from the enemy, out of their line of fire, but still catch them in the dash. Because obviously the worst thing you can do is to dash head on at the enemy in their line of fire, because you'll get a missile rack to the face or an EM rifle, or they're just gonna tank you. There's a beautiful shot in my last clip in the tournament stream. I think it's in episode 3, where there's a Surge that dashes right at me, and I got my Onyx out, and it's the EM rifle lines him up in the sight, and just as he starts to dash, the EM goes off, and then I missile him as he's at point blank range in my face. Remember, boom, explodes. The EMP does nothing, so I take no damage. That's how you tank a Surge. Don't, if you're surging, hit them in the face, off center. Arc turret damage is a no-brainer. You want to do that. Arc turret range is also a no-brainer. If I really want to get purple on that, I need to get purple on that, because range and damage is the most important thing for arc turret. But I don't have arc turret range purple yet, and that's okay, because I got arc turret damage, the purple one, maxed out, and that does a lot. Ability cooldown. You don't need to dash, honestly, that much, so I'm really fine with the blue. I would rather put the purple on something that does damage. So I have the ability cooldown purple on Tengu, as you'll see. But just having an ability cooldown in case you need to use the dash as an escape or something, and it's not like a planned attack, you're like, oh, like maybe jabs are coming at you, or you're escaping like a mortar cut out there, then maybe an ability cooldown helps, and that's pretty much why I have that on. So after I send out Surge first, whatever damage that has done, now that I have Eclipse, I might as well send out Eclipse. So let's take a look at the Eclipse. Right now I have disc launchers, which is the full 16 on him. 2 disc launcher 8s. They work beautifully. I don't have any other disc launchers yet. Honestly, I just have the 8s, and honestly, all I need is the 8s right now. I haven't felt the need to purchase or use the A coins or anything to get more disc launchers because my team is just working right now. So I want to like keep boosting up implants and using my A coins towards ranking up the mechs themselves. You put the guided pilot, epic guided pilot with the discs. Obviously, if you can't get the epic, then just get some guided pilot. But I really like discs on Eclipse because Eclipse is super glassy, and that's the problem. You gotta play Eclipse like bobbing and weaving, in and out. You gotta pick your confrontations very carefully. And the disc launchers allow you to engage in a lot of different types of confrontations. You can sling them off from a massive distance, just hoping that they'll hit something, and then by the time you get closer, you'll reload. So that's always nice. Like if you're at a long stage, like at the CPC stage that you're in space, you can set them off like from one side and just launch them all the way across the bridge to the other. And then by the time you get down to the middle point, you'll have them back, you'll reload. But they're also, I mean, they're wicked strong close. You can hide around corners, very close to enemies. You can do all sorts of things. And since Eclipse is so fast, it just complements him very naturally. You just have to be careful because someone on the Reddit said if you just look at Eclipse the wrong way, he'll break. And it's true. You can't look at Eclipse the wrong way or he'll just break. He has that little HP, you know what I mean? So get an epic pilot. Try to make him as least squishy as possible. I got the launcher reload radius damage. Like I have this one fully stacked out, so I got the deal for that. That was like $25, but it came with the gold launcher reload and the gold launcher damage, and the purple launcher radius. That's what it was for $25. You get all 3 of those implants, 2 gold and purple, and $25 is a lot of money, but how long would it take to actually, if I was thinking of how long it would take to even wait for deals individually, like the game just spit that at me, and I had to. That's like the kind of, if you were trying to do that naturally, that would take months and months, if not more than a year, to get all 3 of those. Or just waiting in the store, like the store puts out the worst implants, right? Oh my god. Mighties, we will play soon, I promise. I just want to get through this. Ability duration, obviously the stealth is very long on Eclipse. So when you're using his ability and you're going stealthy, you get like 11 seconds, and you put a duration on it, you get like 12 or 13. Again, it doesn't need to be much longer than that, so I would say if you have purple, maybe put on something a little bit different, maybe like a shield or something like that. And then, so Onyx is usually my third, and what I like to do is it's Surge, Eclipse, Onyx, and then the side pieces are very, very situational. Okay, I think of them more as tools than even being a part of the team. They just have very specific purposes. They are the pinch hitters or the pinch servers. Does anybody like Haikyuu? Does anybody watch anime? I'm gonna explain that the pinch server is the one that they swap in to get a service ace when you like guaranteed need a point. I know a little bit about volleyball just from Haikyuu. I don't know about volleyball from volleyball. I had volleyball explained to me through the art of anime via Haikyuu. So the 2 side mechs are my pinch hitters, and I'll explain them in a sec, but let me just show you my Onyx. Onyx has a beam pilot on him, and that's obviously a fuck up. That's fucking terrible. But I don't have a sniper pilot, so the beam pilot, who is purple, is the best I have right now for just HP. And I do have a thermal on him, so that's a beam, but thermals don't do damage, and it's a thermal 4, so that's really just for sight. Not only is that for sight, I like putting a thermal on there for sight when you're using a sniper, because it's very nice. You could trick them with lasers. One color's red, one's green. You could stay low. You could hammer on the red and keep it going so that they think that the EM fire is going to go off, but it doesn't, and then they'll pop off thinking you reload, but you never shot the EM. So then you hit them with the green one. It's you can do some very sneaky things when you have 2 different colored lasers. You can use the thermal on Onyx particularly just use the thermal, leave it on there for a few seconds, and then your missile will do more damage because now they're taking, you know, more damage because they're overheated. And so I have the quad rocket radius on there, so that just maybe it hits a little bit more splash damage. The quad rocket ability is like very temperamental. There's so many times where you'll launch it off and you'll be like, that should have fucking hit something. So many times. You have to be so precise. But when it hits, it does feel very satisfying. So that's cool. But if you get the radius, it helps a little bit more. I used to have quad rocket damage, but it was blue, and it did like nothing, so it wasn't even worth it. I just sold it for implant parts. Again, like thermal lance damage, purple, it doesn't matter if that shit was gold. The thermal lance does like next to nothing, like unless you have enough time to just be like sitting there holding it, which you shouldn't be playing like that anyway. That's way too slow. And then EM rifle damage is blue, also pathetic, also needs to be ranked up. Onyx is my weak link, but because it's an EM rifle and because the beam pilot is up there enough, he can hold his own and get some snipes off. But definitely my weakest link on the team, and that's what I'm working on next. I'm working on getting a sniper pilot, and I also have I can rank up Onyx at 1875, but I think I'm gonna get the sniper pilot first, which I said I was gonna do last stream, and I ended up buying arc turret because again I make impulse decisions, and I don't know, that doesn't make me a bad person. So the tools on the left and the right. Tengu, very situational. You drop him on a spawn point and it's a guaranteed kill. You just target opponent and you run at them straight like John Wick. You think on diagonals. So Tengu is one of the characters like Eclipse that works. He runs very quickly on diagonals and backwards as fast as he does forwards. So what I mean by that is a lot of mechs, if you think of like Paragon or like the tankier mechs, if you are trying to get somewhere, then going forward and straight is the fastest way to go. If you were trying to get out of somewhere, like say something was coming at you head on and you needed to get out of it, like say a mortar, then actually strafing to the right is the slowest thing you can do because you're too tanky and they have very slow side movement. What you would want to do is turn your entire body to the right so that your camera is literally no longer facing the threat and walk towards that direction, because walking forward is always going to be the fastest. That being said, Tengu and certain mechs, Surge obviously, they move equally fast in all directions, which is just super nasty for situational awareness. If you memorize the stages backwards and fronts, you can go backwards up ramps, backwards around obstacles. It's super nasty. Tengu can do that, he's just kind of slow. So if you're approaching your enemy, think on diagonals, approach on the right, coming at a slant so that they're shooting at you, but they're going to start missing, and then all of a sudden, jump diagonal, upward left. Think of like you're playing chess and you do a knight move, running diagonally and then jump that way, and then all of a sudden you start circling around them with the arc turret, and it's nasty. I'm going to post a video showing the art of Tengu, and you'll see exactly what I mean by that. But basically, if you get Tengu, you're going to want to put arc on him because it works perfect. You're going to want to put a close quarters pilot on him like I did. I got the G-lock, almost max. You know, he's getting up there. And that if you have any other arc turret, you're going to want to put the damage and range on him, or ability damage and ability cooldown. As you can see, I have the purple damage and cooldown on Tengu because I think that's where it's needed. That's where it's needed the most. Obviously, he is not as strong as Surge or Eclipse or Onyx. He's not up there, but he can be very good and very helpful in the right situation. He's just the perfect piece that you need. He's like just the missing link. So that's why he's worth getting those putting those implants on there and keeping him in my team. Gotta show some Tengu love. And then Zephyr, obviously, same thing. Very situational, very weak, very slow. The problem I have with Zephyr is you can flash somebody and be completely, like, they're completely shut down, and then what do? Well, how do you kill them? You have to have something that's going to be strong enough to get them to 0 health before they come out of their flash, because then they're just going to shred you up because you're just paper. And I didn't have anything that can do that. Even these 2 missile rack 6s Level 7, rank 4. I need to rank them up, but I don't. Again, you just keep saying you have to rank this up, you have to rank that up, but I don't have the time to do that yet, and I don't have the coins for that yet. So there's nothing my Zephyr can do to take you out in one shot, unless you're a very low HP mech, like, you know, like a slingshot or something extra squishy. Then you can flash them and take them out with the missile rack. But eventually, I'll have something that can do that. For now, this is literally just about dropping them on a point, flashing a tank, letting off the missiles, and hoping that you have a teammate to do like the last little bit of damage. Zephyr's my team player, and he's just like that emergency, that very last kind of guy I throw out there. And then, like I said, I threw my Neymar Jr. on there just to make him faster. I don't use missiles or what is it? Assault. I don't use assault weapons on anybody, so it's like, fuck it, give him Neymar. All right. That's a lot of bullshitting. That's a lot of talking. I hope that was helpful to somebody, giving you a deep dive of the hangar, showing you, you know, what sort of implants I got on there. I see I have nothing helpful, and I don't keep anything that I don't have weapons for that won't help me. So I scrap it all because I need the implant. You need the technician points. So don't be like, oh, I might need that in the future. If it's like a blue, it's not even worth it. It's not even worth it. Get rid of all your blues for anything that you don't have, and just sell it off right now and put it on and put it towards your stuff. Even I would say purples, if it's not something you're likely to get. Like I had a whole bunch of stuff for fragment, and I had a whole bunch of stuff for mortar. I get mortar stuff all the time, and I still don't have mortars, and I'm probably not going to unlock mortars for a very long time. So those are easy sells, and the purple ones are 450 each. Okay, so great. A lot of talking. Explain the hangar. Now we can get back into the binge. Is Slippy still on?